Hello, this is Gordon Walsh's, and this is my strategic plan for LDR 620. I want to be speaking to the elders and presenting this information to them. So here we go. We're going to get started. Now, for the elders, I just want to thank you for all coming here. Thank you for your prayer. And I'd like to just take this moment. I'm going to give you an introduction to our strategic plan for what we're going to be executing here in the near future. But if you could, just hold all your questions until the end, because I want to go over that. And we're going to go over each phase with subcategories and vote on each one as we go along. So I'm going to give you an overview so you have a good understanding of what we'll be voting on. Now, this church has been around since, 1989. I took over April 2013. We were in that little building next door where the church has never been able to grow because of the capacity of the church. It could only grow to maybe 30, 35 people, and it never was able to sustain that. Since we moved into our new building, we've doubled in size, actually over doubled in size, but we've been stagnant now for probably about the last year or so. So we're really going to have to start stepping up and reaching out to our members and finding the ones that have an aptitude for serving the Lord and in the sense of going out and making disciples. Now, our mission statement's never changed. It's to serve Jesus Christ. If we love Jesus, we serve him. We need to learn to educate our Christians, which we've been doing very good at that, equipping them, teaching them what they're equipped to do and what they do well for the Lord, disciple them, walk with them along the way, and then, of course, send them into their ministry, whatever that may be. We're not trying to make our ministry upon them, but them to do their ministry. And you guys are well aware of that part of our mission. So then our vision statement has changed, as God's changed us. This year we've started out with just to be ignited into God. Really what we're talking about there is going out and being alive in him and making disciples. So, our vision is to make disciples this year. We want to go out and bring people to Christ, bring people to this ministry here. Now, over the past quite a few years, actually, and here just recently, what we talked about in the past year, we've only had an increase of, it's a big increase. It's about 100%, a little over 100%. But we've not been able to increase since then. We've stayed stagnant for over the last year. So we're going to be looking at how can we improve that. Right now, we have about 2%. It's actually a little bit more than 2% of our members here actively seeking to make disciples. So we're going to increase that. We're looking to increase that to 20%. And I'll be able to show some of that, how we're going to do that. Now, right now, it has put a little damper with the COVID-19. So we've been pushed behind. So we'll be pushing this into the summer and into the fall months when we'll be looking at this, and our goal is by the end of the year to increase our congregation by 20%. And obviously, as we increase people and families coming here, that does increase our financial input here, which will give us the opportunity to reach the lost greater and better. So we're doing this to save the lost and to bring people into the covenant of God. And I think with the COVID-19, we're going to have a good opportunity to do that because a lot of people had time to reflect on where they're at in Christ and their faith and their beliefs. Now, the action plan, we're going to break it down to 4 phases. First phase is how are we going to market this? Well, right off the bat, we're going to market this for about 4 weeks prior to me giving the sermon series. I'm going to give a 4-week sermon series on what it is to make disciples. That'll be in phase 2. But phase 1 is marketing it. And we're going to market it every Sunday. Just initially, we're going to start off with a little more passive one, where I just introduce what we'll be talking about in the near future. We're not going to do it on announcements. We're not going to do it on the bulletin, and it will be on our Facebook live feed because I'll be talking about that. And then we're going to ramp it up the next week where we'll put it in the bulletin, and I'll talk about it again. Third week, we're going to put it in the bulletin. I will be talking about it in the announcements, or the person that does the announcements will be talking about that, of course, and then we'll be talking about it, and then in the 4th week we'll repeat that. But the main reason we're doing this so many times is because right now the average person that comes to church, there are those ones that come every Sunday, but the average person comes about every other Sunday. So they're going to be able to see this 2 times prior to us giving this sermon and promoting the discipleship program and the class that we'll be giving after we get done with the 4-week series on discipleship making, Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 through 20, which is the Great Commission. Now, the leaders will execute the 4-week teaching, which is you guys, all right? You guys will be the teachers and the trainers, but during this phase 2, I will be training you up on, there's a program right now that I've been looking at. It's a 4-week program, but I've also been looking at another program that we're going to be teaching on. I haven't decided which one. We're going to be talking about that at the end, and we're going to vote on that, but it'll be a Francis Chan one, which is 6 weeks, but your train up will be 4 weeks. We'll be teaching you that, and we'll be ramping up for our strategic review. So I have the SWOT analysis in front of you. You can take a look at that, and we'll be covering that later, and also the action plan and so forth. The stakeholders analysis and the strategic map is also included there, and it should be in front of you. But we'll be talking about that more when we go over this, so you can have some more questions. Now, phase 3 is training up the volunteers, the people that want to participate. Right now, I have about 20%. I actually anticipate there'll be more than 20% that will volunteer to be trained in this, but you can see that in the stakeholders who I anticipate volunteering for this. But each class will be taught by you guys, the elders, and you guys will be the trainers, and we'll hope to bring them up so we can execute the Great Commission. Now, the final phase is the execution phase. This is where we send them out to do that, but let's say there's 20 people that do this. Well, each elder will be responsible to mentor 4 people. That way, if they have questions, and let's say it's a husband and wife and another husband and wife, so it's just 2 families, but we're going to be available to them to mentor them. So now, before we get started on going back over this, if there's any initial questions right up front, we can cover those now. Hey, thank you. Thank you for being here, and God bless you.